I know that's loud. I'm sorry. Among the many things that nobody has asked me to film is a tour of my workplace. Now, my workplace has been a disgusting mess for a long time. There was a big pile of bills over there. There was a junky old computer over there from 2003, a giant monitor, and it was a mess. But when quarantine hit, I was like, I'm going to sit here every day. I'm just going to make it nice. So it's a place that doesn't stress me out. It's a place that brings me happiness whenever I sit in it. It makes me feel comfortable. I can be productive, or I can have fun. Just a nice, pleasant place to go. And I feel like after all this time, I've managed to make a little place that makes me super happy to sit at, and the cats too. We're going to go into a lot of depth here for absolutely no reason, except for I have a lot of time. So I hope you do too. So down there is a little shelf where I have the board games that I could play with a webcam set up. When quarantine first started, we'd have Wednesday lunch board games like we did at the office in the conference room, but we would do it with a webcam, and I would get people to come play games, and it was really fun. And I stopped doing it after a while, both because I had a bunch of dialogue for second notes to write, and also I just felt that kind of quarantine fatigue, you know what I'm talking about? Overwhelmed. This guy was not up to it. And this is my desk. That brings us to our desk. I have this old, nice wooden desk that I bought off an old friend. This is my mug. This is a vintage, I think it's vintage like Fiesta ware, whatever, Kobayashi. Now, this might seem strange that I have a mouse pad with a picture of me on it. It's because my daughter asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like, I don't need anything, just a day of peace, or whatever, like my mom used to say. But I was like, well, my mouse pad is kind of dirty because my mouse pad is this really gross. And I'll show you the mess over here. My mouse pad was this really gross, dirty old sample of a Double Fine one. But and then I was like, yeah, so I could use a mouse pad. She goes, uh-huh. And then in a, I thought, unrelated event, she came by and took a picture of me at my desk. And then I got this for Christmas. And so be careful what you wish. And it looks even funnier when you put the mouse pad right on my face. It looks like I'm some sort of weird Daft Punk DJ. Old Double Fine coaster from the Brutal Legend days. Whoa. Now this little mini arcade here is really exciting. These are all these really beautiful, fully playable scale mini arcade machines from New Wave Toys in their Replicade series. I have a Centipede, Tempest, and Asteroids, and the little change machine is actually a USB power hub that powers them all. It has little tiny little gold coins. This is a productivity enhancer in that I used to have in this spot on my desk like an inbox. I had like a mesh wire inbox. It was piled with bills almost as high or as high as this arcade was with bills. Because like whenever something came in that I didn't want to deal with, I would throw it in there. So it was like something that needed a button to be sewed on, to be like a shirt and a bill, and then some junk and stuff. It was like a nightmare. So one of the things I did when I started cleaning up the space to make it a nice little quarantine area was just get rid of the inbox. Now, if anything comes in that I have to deal with, it sits right in front of me, and it bugs me so much that I just do it right away. So I have no backlog of junk to do, mostly, for the most part. And this is my Barbie. I got this Barbie. I got my daughter a game. This is Game Developer Barbie official. I got my daughter one for Christmas, and when I got this arcade, I was like, I wonder if she would look good in the arcade. Can I borrow it? And so my daughter reached under her bed and pulled out this like naked, armless Barbie that I had gotten her years ago. So I had to go buy my own. So this is my first Barbie of my own. That's Rat Fink, personal hero of mine, not to scale. These are these little printing blocks I found in my parents' garage that my brother Danny made when he was like 12. You can see he made a huge impact on my style and taste. Like everything about heavy metal and like Big Daddy Roth comes from him, and like tongues sticking out of demon faces with spit drip. That's all his style. This is a little Foo Dog lamp from Sue Johnson's Lamps in Berkeley. It's like handcrafted lamps. They're really nicely made. I really wanted one back in the college days because it was on Solano Avenue in Berkeley, and this is the biggest one I could afford. They're usually like these floor-mounted lamps are like $200, and this little one is the one I could get. I still have it. Here's some of the prize mementos I have from the past. K-Pro computers. If I need to rebuild a K-Pro, I got this. This is the stylus to a Koala Pad, which was a Koala Pad is a touch tablet for an Atari, like in my Atari 800. And this is I don't know where the pad is anymore, but I have this stylus that I use to draw my pictures for my resume when I applied for a job in 1989 at Lucasfilm. So I still have this. It was good for rubbing Letraset letters off, which is another lost technology. So a lot of lost technology in that little corner. Oh, this is sad. My Manny Calavera mug from Frostbeard Studios. It's been on my desk. It's in the documentary for a lot. It's a beautiful mug that I've used every day of my life and I love so much. And then something happened to it. No confessions yet. No word exactly who ran on my desk and knocked it to the floor, but no hard feelings. I glued it as best I can, which is terribly. It's unusable. I thought maybe I could plant a plant in it. I don't know. Sad. These are my cubes. I have a big basket at work, but these are the 4 that I like to solve. So I can solve these like multiple times a day during meetings. It's really fun because in an in-person meeting, I want to be solving these, but it feels rude because you're looking down at you're looking at someone's talking to you. Yeah, that sounds rough. Wow, that must be rough. And then it seems rude. But during a Zoom meeting, I can hold it underneath the camera like this, and they can't see the cube. They can probably hear it, but they can't see the cube. And it looks like I'm making as well as eye contact as good as any during a Zoom meeting. So I solve these and unsolve them a bunch because they're very satisfying. These are the best sizes. I like 2x2, 3x3, of course, the basic 4x4. The 6x6 is a little unnecessary, but it's a little more satisfying in some ways. But this way, they're fast enough, but they still have all the parity errors from an even-numbered cube. Okay, moving in, I have my laptop. I have this little light. I guess I just got this before quarantine because I thought it'd be good for travel, ironically, now that I don't go anywhere. But it's very light. And I do all the writing and all the work and all the Zooming I do on this computer. This Razer I use for playing the game. It runs the game. It's much more powerful and faster. But I would use it for everything, except for the keyboard is so horribly laid out. I can't stand right here on this spot where where your pinky would normally go to do the shift. There's an up arrow. So I can't type on this. It's absolutely impossible. I have no idea why they would do such a thing. Look, normal. See this? Shift key. Oh, the up arrow's below it. I don't want to rant or anything, but this should be illegal. Okay, anyway. So I can play the game. This is one of the things I like because I'm working over here on like Atari Homebrew stuff on the oldest video game technology that exists. And these are some of the oldest video games ever made. And then over here's the newest, not even out yet. Newest technology, newest game. This is the history of video games right here. Whatever. Here the cats. This is Kiki, the athletic one who doesn't like to be held. This is Mimi, the cuddly one who wants to just lay down on the floor all the time. Super lazy. They're sisters. They were fire rescue cats that we picked up, and they've broken things, but otherwise it's been really fun to have around. They made quarantine much more entertaining for us, and they're sweet, and they break stuff. And they woke me up at 4 a.m. Anyway, they're great. This is a little puffer fish that I know this is super cruel, right? You wouldn't buy this nowadays, but this is back in the 90s. I bought this thing. Puffer fish all lacquered, but I want to put, since it's already dead, it would have been gone from natural causes by now anyway. Now I have it, I really want to put a light in it and hang it in like a tiki bar type situation, but someday. I have the hummingbird feeder out there, try to remember the glory of the hummingbird, Double Fine. They come by there a lot. Look how much they drank, little pigs. So thirsty. That's my words, okay. Especially around this time, they come around, they'll fight. The cats sit there and they make this little chirping sound, which is them practicing their death bite because they really want to kill these hummingbirds. And the hummingbirds are so pretty and they have like the red throats and they fight. And some of them are obviously really pregnant and I don't know, fat, maybe just big. And they drink so much the water guggles up like hey, no, I told you that's endangered. Don't play with that. Okay, let's keep moving. Start at the bottom. I have a little bulletin board of like pictures of my lovely family. One of the last 2 Corley Motors keychains from old tchotchkes from LucasArts. KOME radio station. Anyone who grew up in the Bay Area knows what I'm talking about. Everyone else thinks it's boring. I won't mention it. This was hanging in my brother's room all his life. And I never knew what it was from. And then he passed away in 1997, and I saw it there, and I wanted to take it, and I asked my mom, what is this from? She goes, I don't know, but it made him feel better when he was asleep at night. It made him feel like when he was a kid, no monsters were going to come in the room, because it says nothing passes through doors or windows save moonlight and starlight and the wind on the hilltop. And that was like so many years ago. And so that was like when he was young. And then I was reading Lord of the Rings to my daughter when she was like 7, and just reading along. And then all of a sudden Tom Bombadil, or his wife, says that to the hobbits when they're staying in their house. And I was like, what? So that was exciting. I should probably frame that. But anyway, years later, mystery solved. So these black and white photos, we have black and white photos from me and my wife's family, and my wife took this picture. This is my lovely daughter, my grandma and her sisters, my wife's grandma. There's a lot of pictures of our family. Here's me. Adorable. And I'm talking about the cockatiel. My brother took this picture of 2 clams so vicious and hateful they had to be restrained, as he calls it. Anyway, lots of old family pictures of me and my dad backpacking. And this is my picture. This is a picture of my dad when he was in the doctor's race. The doctors got together and race, which was a terrible idea. And we watched him hit the railing and flip and roll this car and then crawl out of it a lot. But I was like, oh my God, my dad's dead. And I was like, oh my God, look how stressed my mom is. I like that you're racing. Okay. And then we're getting to the Atari stuff because I'm having some sort of weird obsession with it. But I've made a lot of discoveries. I'm gonna make a whole different video about that because I don't know what's going on with my brain. But I love these games, and I've been collecting them and kind of organizing them. And I know, like, you young people watching this are like, okay, boomer, yeah, whatever. We've heard about this. You old people love your old Ataris and stuff. And I know it's true. I did have this thing of like, yeah, I love these old games and it's nostalgia, but I don't play them nowadays. And I couldn't find my old childhood Atari because it was at Double Fine and it went missing. It's missing. I don't know where it is. It got stolen. If you know anything about it, please let me know. I would like to get that back. But in the meantime, I got this one from eBay and it came with a bunch of games, like a few of these. And I found out that a lot of the games that came out after I got out of playing Atari, like in 83, 84, all the best games came out then. Like I didn't even know. I'd never heard of Hero. It's like one of the best games ever, like Frostbite, Sequest. I had never played these games. And like I've been just discovering all these crazy games that I had never played back in the day that are amazing. Spider Fighter, like the best shooter of all time. So I had no idea. So I've been getting really into that and some of the old classics that are still super fun. And the best Atari games have been made in the last 5 years though. Like all these homebrew games are just incredible. And I have more down here. And I love these old little 9-inch TVs. It doesn't look super pretty, but it's, the outside looks great. I like the way it looks. So I have been making some homebrew things for fun, just little fun experiments. And also buying a lot of homebrew games. These are the homebrew games. These are like the classics. There's the Activision area, 20th Century Fox, and Magic. And this is the little rainbow of games that these are either like all my old favorites or just ones that I really needed to make the color rainbow work. The rainbow was a big important part of the nostalgia for me. When I was a kid, we used to go to Long's Drugs, the drugstore in town, and that's where they had the video games at a drugstore. And it was in the photo counter, not in the front counter, but the back counter, back by the 400 speed film, under the shelf. So you'd go, there'd be the photo person standing here, and then you'd look down, and there'd be this little beautiful rainbow of video games, and you'd like beg, oh please, can we get a video game? My dad would be like, those cost money, and blah blah blah. But I have them now. I'm basically Long's Drugs now. So these are a mix of ones that I got because they're like my old favorites or some new favorites or just this, they make the rainbow look good. But yeah, and I put them in little plastic protective boxes because that's what I've become. That's who I am now. I'm that person. I'm not ashamed. I like it. Where are you going? We're not done yet. And these drawers have more games and more games. Screwdrivers and WD-40 and all the stuff you need to keep this stuff going. So I think that's the edge. Yeah, that's it. Okay, anyway, there's me. Imagine me sitting there working. So happy. All right, well, thank you for taking this tour of my little quarantine nest. It's been really nice to work here. It makes me happy to sit here. At night, it kind of glows. It's kind of warm. It's nice when it's raining outside. It's nice when it's sunny. And soon I'm actually going to be moving to a new house. And so this will be no more. So now it's memorialized. And you can always remember it. Hope my new nest is just as comfortable. I hope you have a lovely nest of your own. No, forget it. That's dumb. Whatever.